Let me ask you something, what happens when a viral moment flips overnight and the so-called hero suddenly becomes the headline for all the wrong reasons? That's exactly what just happened, and trust me, the reaction from South Africans has been loud, emotional, and impossible to ignore. But before we break it down, let's listen to what she had to say. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share. Now let's get back to the video.
Hi guys. So I just want to say well done once again. South Africans are just amazing people. So you remember that video that was trending on Sunday of Ngizwe, talking to some guy from Malawi, and this guy was saying he's a business person, etc., etc. And he claimed that Ngizwe can't talk to him, you're not the police, etc. And, I saw EFF members were saying on Twitter that they're going to raise money for him because he's brave and stood up against Ngizwe. Well, have the tables not turned? Because it turns out that the guy is actually a fugitive and has been on the run from the Malawian authorities since 2015 or 17, between those two. I think it's 2015. He's been on the run. And now they found him on the internet in South Africa, busy acting like he's a hero. Now, this takes me back to the dangers I always talk about when I talk about this issue of illegal immigration, is that you let people into your country and you don't even know who they are. You don't know how many people they've killed in their country. You don't know what their intentions for being there are. You don't even know what kind of hustle or things they would do, to what extent, to survive in your country. And that is the problem that we have right now in South Africa. We've got millions of people that we don't know. We don't know who they are. You don't know what kind of crimes they've committed. Which country are they even from? Some of them even end up lying because they don't want to be deported. They're saying that they're from another country and they know they're not from that country. And our problems just keep increasing day by day. And the only thing that we can do as South Africans is really to stand up for this country. We've heard the name xenophobia. We've been called xenophobic before. It's not the end of the world. Everyone has a right to protect themselves, protect their country and the future of that country. And clearly our government does not have an intention to do so. We've got a government that we know is composed of politicians that are business people, and the only thing that matters to them is their businesses in all these African countries. They won't put us before their own selfish needs. So it's a call for us as South Africans to not back down. Do not back down. Because that guy is just one of many millions of people that we don't know. We've got spaza shop mafias today. We've got drug kingpins today. We've got people who are running businesses that are brothels and prostitution rings and human trafficking rings. All of it is being run in South Africa by people from outside of South Africa. While we think that everything is going as normal, because we abide by the laws of the country, because we love our country. There's no way we won't. We want to see it fail. There's no way we want to see it dirty. There's no way we want to see the buildings falling apart. That's not who we are as a country. But they don't care. They don't care about South Africa. It's not their country. They know if anything happens to South Africa, they've got an option. They'll go back to where they come from and continue to live happily ever after. We do not have a choice. We have to protect this country. Right now, today, another guy is appearing in court for chopping body parts of a child and using it for moti. That's something that's prominent in Mozambique. So there's Mozambicans in South Africa who are doing that. There's Nigerians who are involved in all kinds of crimes, especially cyber crimes. They're there in Cape Town. They're being scammers. They are on Interpol. They are on wanted list. We've got all kinds of criminals making South Africa their home. And the minute you say something about it, you are labeled as xenophobic so that you can shut up. I'm calling on all South Africans again, do not keep quiet about the current situation in our country. We want these criminals out of our country, and we're not negotiating it. Because trust me, if we are the ones that allow this to happen, it'll get worse. And angazi ngoba your children are spoiled to the core. Like most South African children now are very spoiled. You can't expect them to be fighting these criminals and mercenaries from all over the globe that are coming here. I mean, I saw a video of a member of parliament saying that there's too many Jews that are coming into South Africa. There were 15,000 Jews that are brought to South Africa. They now have to get more Pakistanis to come to South Africa. So a whole member of parliament is pushing religious wars in our country. Pakistanis are not South Africans. Why must we import Pakistanis to fight their war against the Jews? Why are we even importing Jews and Pakistanis to South Africa? Like, what kind of country is this where everyone just feels entitled to do as they wish? If it's not religious fights, the Ethiopians and Somalians now are also killing each other for the spaza shops. Now they're going to kill each other and die here on our land. Like, I don't, like, personally as a South African woman, I cannot imagine. I can't be, it's a pride thing that we have as South African women. I don't think I'd even look at a South African man the same if they were out there fighting for another man's country. Like, I don't think I'd ever look. Let me assure you, South Africans, and I'm talking about united, this tribal thing that you're trying to do to separate us, try it, we don't care. But South Africans are going to unite even more across tribal lines and whatever, and make sure that we get you out of our country and we take our country back so that it's properly functioning. We don't like lawlessness. We grew up with this law and order. We appreciate law and order, unlike you who doesn't know where the street light is or where, you know, we might not be perfect as a country, but there's certain things that are not things that we are used to, like all this dirt and all these buildings that are just dirty and smelling, and that's not us. So please, guys, do the right thing and just get ready to go home. Like, go home. We don't want to fight. We don't want violence. We don't want any of that. We just want you to respectfully, as a person with pride who loves themselves, who loves their country, go to your country, and whatever problems that you have in your country, we are more than willing to help you while we are at this side and you are that side. Because you know very well, you're not here in South Africa because you are wanting to have a better country. You are here because you are thinking about yourself and you want yourself to be fine. And while we suffer in the meantime, we're not going to allow ourselves to suffer because you're going to call us xenophobic. We don't mind. Call us xenophobic all you want. But we do not want criminals from all over the world in our country anymore, and it ends there. Call us names, call us whatever, but we are done entertaining criminals, and all the people who support them can go with them. This is our country. This is our country. And we've got nowhere else to go, so we are in no rush to get rid of you guys. I always say this, we're in no rush to get rid of you. But we're going to get rid of you. We don't want criminals here. You've got your own country. You can't mess up your country, make it dirty, make it messy, make it crime-ridden, have a failed government that gets away with all kinds of things and do all these things and then come here to transfer that to us. No, guys, no. We have a future. We've got a whole generation of children that are still to come in this country, and they need to find a country still standing and surviving. And we'll
So picture this. A video starts trending. You've probably seen it. A man, claiming to be a businessman, confidently standing his ground during an exchange with Ngobese. He's bold, he's defiant, and for a moment, social media crowns him as this fearless figure. People are sharing the clip, debating it, even praising him. Some voices online, including political supporters, are saying, "This guy is brave." Others are even talking about raising money for him. But then, plot twist. The internet does what the internet does best. It starts digging, and suddenly, the narrative flips completely. It turns out this same man is allegedly not just some random businessman. Reports surface claiming he has been on the run from authorities in Malawi for years. Not months, years. We're talking somewhere around 2015 or 2017. And just like that, the energy changes. Now enter Jacinta Ngobese Zuma. And she does not hold back. She comes out, calm but direct, and starts by applauding South Africans. She says, once again, people have shown how sharp and aware they can be. Because what looked like one thing on the surface turned out to be something completely different underneath. And for her, this isn't just about one man. Not even close. She uses this moment to zoom out and talk about a much bigger issue that has been bubbling under the surface for a long time. She raises a concern that hits hard. How many people are in the country whose backgrounds are unknown? How many individuals are living among ordinary citizens without proper documentation or verified histories? And more importantly, how do you manage that as a country without creating chaos? Now, here's where things get serious. She argues that one of the biggest risks isn't just illegal immigration itself, but the lack of proper systems to track, verify, and manage who is coming in and why. Because without that, you're not just dealing with numbers. You're dealing with uncertainty, and uncertainty makes people uncomfortable. She pushes the idea that it's not unreasonable for citizens to want safety, structure, and accountability. And whether people agree or disagree with her tone, that concern about security is something many countries across the world are dealing with right now. But she also addresses something else that's become a major talking point, the word xenophobia. According to her, this label is often used quickly and sometimes shuts down conversations before they even begin. And she challenges that, saying people should be allowed to talk about national concerns without immediately being dismissed. Now, of course, this is where things get complicated, because there's a very fine line between raising legitimate concerns and promoting harmful generalizations. And that's something people need to be careful about. But from her perspective, she's making a call for South Africans to stand firm and not feel pressured into silence. Then she goes deeper. She talks about crime, about how certain criminal activities have been linked, in public discussions, to foreign nationals. Now, it's important to be very clear here. Crime exists in every community, and it's not accurate or fair to generalize entire groups of people. But what she's highlighting is a perception that's gaining traction among some citizens, and perceptions, whether accurate or not, can influence public mood in a big way. She also points out that South Africa, like many countries, is facing multiple challenges at once: unemployment, infrastructure issues, and rising crime rates. And when people are already under pressure, tensions can rise quickly. Then comes one of the most emotional parts of her message. She talks about identity, about pride, about what it means to feel like your country is your only home, your only option. And she contrasts that with the idea that others might have somewhere else to go if things go wrong. That feeling, whether people agree with it or not, is powerful. Because it taps into something deeper than politics. It taps into belonging. She also criticizes leadership, suggesting that politicians may have competing interests, especially when it comes to business ties across the continent. Again, this is her viewpoint, and it reflects a broader frustration some citizens feel about governance and priorities. But here's where the conversation becomes even more layered. She mentions tensions between different groups, including conflicts that have been reported in business sectors like spaza shops. She brings up concerns about imported conflicts, saying that South Africa shouldn't become a battleground for issues that originate elsewhere. And that raises an interesting question. In a globalized world, where people move across borders for opportunity, safety, or survival, how do countries balance openness with stability? There's no easy answer, because on one hand, migration is part of human history. People have always moved in search of better lives. On the other hand, every country has systems, laws, and limits that need to be respected. What Jacinta Ngobese Zuma is essentially doing is voicing one side of that debate. A side that says, we need stronger control, clearer systems, and a firm stance on law enforcement. She emphasizes that her call is not for violence, but for order. For people to respect the country's laws and, if necessary, return to their home countries through proper processes. Now, whether people agree with her completely, partially, or not at all, one thing is clear. This conversation is not going away anytime soon. Because it's not just about one viral video. It's about a bigger national discussion. About borders, identity, safety, and the future. And here's the reality. Social media can turn anyone into a hero overnight. But it can also uncover truths just as quickly. And when those truths come out, they can shift entire narratives in a matter of hours. This situation is a perfect example of that. A man who was praised one day becomes controversial the next. A viral moment turns into a national debate. And a single video sparks conversations that go far beyond what anyone expected. So where does that leave us? It leaves us with questions. Tough ones. How should countries handle undocumented individuals? How do you balance compassion with law enforcement? How do you address crime without unfairly targeting specific groups? And how do you have these conversations without them turning into division? Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about politics or viral clips. It's about people, living real lives, dealing with real challenges. And if there's one thing this whole situation has shown, it's that South Africans are paying attention. They're watching, they're reacting, and they're not afraid to speak up. Whether that leads to solutions or more debates, that's something only time will tell. But one thing is certain, the conversation has officially been ignited, and it's not slowing down anytime soon.